Hannes Hopf, mariaplan.com.
Lisa från Halftime FM.
Vi är här med Mr. Brother Ali.
How you guys doing?
Fine.
Brother Ali, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
Good to be out on tour?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is my first headlining tour in Europe.
Yeah, but you've
I'm
been
excited.
to Europe before.
Mm-hmm. I've been a few times before with Atmosphere.
And what's the big difference between touring in the States to Europe?
Well, in the States, the audiences are a little bit bigger because we tour over there a lot. You know, always on tour in the U.S. I think in Europe there's more of a relationship that people have with music as a society. You know what I mean? I think that people understand a little bit of music a little bit better, appreciate music a little bit more, and interact, have a little bit more of an active relationship with music. You know, there are people in the States that music is very, very important to them. You know, so there's like, at these shows, there may only be 200 people, but all 200 of those people love music. In the States, there's 800 people, but 200 of them love music. You know what I mean? So we just don't have the extra people.
How do you kill time when you're on tour? Do you read a lot, or do you play video games, or exercise, or cook?
I don't do any of those things. I do all those when I'm at home, but not on tour.
You just sleep?
Well, I mean, on tour, you know, when I'm at home, I'm really busy because I'm not home a lot, and I have a family at home. When I am home, I don't have a lot of time to really digest music. You know, there's a difference between listening to something when you're getting ready in the morning and really sitting down and letting music into your soul and really digesting it. And so when I'm on tour, I have a lot of time for that.
Do you write music while on tour?
I do. I can't. It's a little bit more difficult because the energy of tour is different. You know, you're almost never alone, which is the best writing time for me.
Yeah.
Is when I'm alone. I tend to write a lot of songs about relationships and love and things like that when I'm on tour, because of the fact that I'm away from my relationship. And so it makes me view it from a different angle.
And you're from Minneapolis?
That's right.
And it's known for its hip-hop scene. How did you get involved in that and in Rhyme Sayers?
Well, I was involved in hip-hop when I was a little kid, before I met them, you know. I've been doing this since I was 7 or 8 years old.
And when did you get to Minneapolis?
I moved to Minneapolis when I was 15.
Oh.
And then I met the Rhyme Sayers. It's strange because I moved to the north side of Minneapolis. They were on the south side of Minneapolis, which might as well be two different countries when you're a teenager. They never came to our parties. I never went to their parties. But then once we got a little older, you know, when we were in our early 20s, that's when I started really to learn about them. And I've always done everything myself. But when I met the Rhyme Sayers, when I met Atmosphere and Musab and, you know, these people, they were a little bit older than me, and they were more established, and they were just so much more organized than I was. And I knew them for about 6 months or a year before I was a part of that organization.
Do you still produce? You produce for Tukey Wright's new album? Or is that something we will see more of and hear more of?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I started out producing out of necessity, because before I met Ant, I didn't want to be dependent on other people to make music. I wanted to be able to do everything myself, so I started making my own beats, and I do it for fun, and every now and then I make something that I feel like is okay. It's just that it's difficult for me to take my songs and put them on my beat when I could put them on an piece of Ant's music, you know what I mean? Because I feel like it's going to be a better song with Ant. It's such a better marriage when somebody who dedicates their life to MCing and somebody that dedicated their life to making beats to actually everybody do what they're an expert at. You know what I mean?
So, what are your plans for the future?
In the last few years, I released 3 projects with Ant. We have a total of 5 together now, and I think that I'm gonna do a little bit of work with other producers, actually. You know, like I've been doing some songs with my friend Jake One,
A whole record, or?
I don't know about a whole album. Maybe like an EP.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe a small, like a short project. But we've been working together, and it actually helps me strengthen other muscles in the creative process. You know what I mean? Because when I work with Ant, he handles so much, and there's so many things that I don't even think about because he's taking care of them. I think if I step out and work with other producers, it'll cause me to think in new ways and maybe write in new ways. So I'm going to do some work with some other producers, and then I'll come back and make another album with Ant.
Do you have any, for our listeners and viewers, any advice on rappers or music?
I think with everything creative and just with everything in life, you have to embrace who you are, because the things about you that are different are your strengths. That's what your biggest strength is. There's nothing special about doing what everybody else does very well. What's special is the thing that makes you the most unpopular. You know, art turns unpopular into unique. You know what I mean? That's what art does. That's why art is so great.
Speaking of art, how come there aren't any Rhyme Saves action figures out?
That's a good question.
Drum roll.
Yeah.
This is an exclusive. I wonder if you could sign this for me.
Wow.
I made a BK1 too. It looks more like Borat.
and he's got no ass, but...
He got no ass.
He doesn't have any ass in real life.
No.
Where do you want me to say?
The back.
Thanks a lot for the interview.
Thank
really
you guys.
appreciate it.
Thank you guys very much.